Nigerians, the whole truth don finally come out. The whole truth don finally come out. Make una lis ten to this video. The whole truth don finally come out about one viral video of Peter Obi, where Peter Obi allege say he may not be alive to even contest 2027 election because of the way they say the attacker allegedly. This man don expose everything for public. Make una come hear this man im own reaction for the video wey dey trend or the update wey dey trend about Peter Obi, about wetin dey say Peter Obi talk allegedly. But make una not allow President Tinubu to see this video.
I'm telling you, every single thing I do for a living, this government is frustrating it. Deliberately so. Everything. So there's even possibility if they have opportunity, I will not be alive.
Oh wow, that's a big.
It's an accusation. I know I get frustration every day because you do things that you think they will be normal. It is not normal any longer. They won't come directly and say, "Oh, we're doing this," but you could see their hand in everything.
So the government is attacking you personally.
They're attacking everybody who is in opposition personally.
Right.
I'm being attacked personally. Everything, even to provide me with necessary things that I should have been entitled to. Not at all. I had a case recently at the airport.
Okay.
Where people who work in the airport came and locked my car. And I said, it's me. The person on the side said, it doesn't care. But I said, look at the cars of other people. And you could see them talking to each other, you know, as if, who is this one? We have divided the country, breeding hatred among us. That's why I keep saying, I want to bring back unity where there's division. I want to show love, compassion, care. It's gone out of here. I said, I'm looking at somebody. He locked my car in front of me and saying, you're not supposed to park here. But there's cars here. So what is the exception to my own? Should the Nancy people I know at the airport, they will not greet me. Because they are fearing that if they greet me,
they become targets of the government.
Thank you. And now people send me invitation and say, my son, my daughter is wedding, but please don't come. Yes.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? My son, my daughter is getting married, but please don't come. Or he goes to the airport and persons are free to meet with him. When did it get this bad in our polity? I remember in 2023, Atiku Abubakar and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the time he was not yet a president, he was a contestant, met at the airport. These are opponents. Atiku was in PDP then, Tinubu of the APC. They shook hands together and they greeted. So when did it get this bad? There's a general mobilization of hatred in the polity. Acrid hatred. It stinks. It smells. It's so bad that it's getting to children. Children were sent for a competition sponsored by an individual, the owner of Educare. His name is Alex Onya. This guy decided to sponsor these children to Rome for the STEM Olympiad. Now, it's something that anybody who is interested can register for, either a government, a private institution, whatsoever. Now, this man specifically said education is the best way to go and that he's going to focus on the Southeast. But guess what? These children went, and while he was updating on the timeline, you needed to see the conversation that rose. It is bad. It is so bad and deploring. And you know the worst part? You have children who monitor what goes on social media. I'm talking about teenagers. There is a galvanization, mobilization of hate, dispute, distrust, paranoia amidst all the challenges that Nigerians are facing. It's so bad as well that in the international community, Nigeria is not respected. Is it in South Africa? Is it even in the UK? Or is it in the US? Despite how much Nigerians are doing serious exploits in different fields, I'm telling you, go to the UK, go to the US, Germany, anywhere you see Nigerians doing so well, extremely hardworking. In fact, even in the most tight conditions. But guess what? The representation of Nigerians in the international community is poor. South Africans were insulting our president, insulting Nigerians, and calling us druggy. It is that bad. Ladies and gentlemen, Where exactly are we? If a situation like what was exposed with the fake agency of 1.3 billion naira, the president, rather than saying this should be investigated, is saying that he still trusts his chief of staff and that the buck stops on his table. The Senate today, despite the consultation, said they were not going to investigate it. Then where exactly are we? Who takes action for irresponsibility? No punitive measures? What are we doing? Why must every political cycle be riddled with hate and division in Nigeria? From time immemorial, it has always been a tactic. Are we moving forward or we are retrogressing? Mr. Elvis Elimehele is my guest this evening. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Esther. Hi,
welcome.
You are sounding distressed with the Nigeria situation.
I got distressed when I saw the kind of hate comments on children. Like literally. And guess what? They represented Nigeria well. Those children went with a Nigerian passport, and when they won the gold medal, it was with the Nigerian flag. 3 boys and some ladies, they got gold in the mathematics and science STEM Olympiad, representing different institutions. Another one too, I think another secondary school as well, sponsored their children for another Olympiad. This one is on languages, linguistics and something. And those children came back with gold. Children of different ethnic groups, children of different capacities. And instead of that to be celebrated, they were looking at what region is the best, different whatever. And I was worried, like, what is this? Are you not meant to encourage these children for doing so with the dilapidated educational structure that Nigerians currently have?
Probably those children are hearing from their parents, and they also listen to news.
These children, or the people who are actually commenting against the effort of certain individuals to improve conditions educationally for our kids.
Yeah, they see the way the government, using divide and rule to push the nation. So this is where the problem is becoming.
Mr. Elvis, this is bad. Do you know? Do you know some people who were arrested in this? What do you call this? This vehicle that they used to put Kai. That car used to put some people who deterred or something.
Yes, Black Maria.
Black Maria. Mm-hmm. Do you know? Did you see that video?
I've not seen the video.
They were shouting on your mandate inside that.
Yeah, maybe when they sing that anthem,
they'll release them.
They'll be free. What will you not see? This is 2027 knocking at the door. 2027 general election. So you are going to see more. I'm going to see more things, Esther. So don't be distressed. That's the nation we find ourselves. So what do we tell Nigerians? Nigerians already know. Nigerians already know where we are going. Nigerians is already aware. So it's just for us to begin to believe that we'll be able to manage and see how we can salvage this situation. We have to look up to how we can salvage it. It's still salvageable, especially when we get it right in the coming pool.
Are you sure?
Yes, if we get it right in the coming 2027 general election, this nation is this situation, these challenges are surmountable. But if we miss it, I doubt whether we'll have Nigeria again.
But did you hear what Peter Obi said?
Yeah, I heard him. At least in our former in the show I had before now, we also talked about it. We talked about it. What will you?
There were cars. He parked his own car. They locked it. Meanwhile, there were other cars. Then he was talking to them. But there are other cars, and he says the aides were just communicating like he was non-existent.
Yeah, it's not the aide that are communicating.
No, what I mean the aides, the airport officials.
Yes, those are not the people communicating, Esther. It's just like the voice of Jacob and the hand officer. There is an Oga at the top who has given them instruction on what to do. And that Oga that is giving them instruction also had instruction from the uppermost channel. That's the situation. Those aides, those junior staff naturally would have loved Obi. Because what Obi is clamoring for is to make this nation work for everybody. They would have loved him. But if the order is coming from their superior boss, and they don't have another job if they lose that job, do you understand what I'm saying? It's a chain of events. And that's what we are saying. We have to find a way to curb this. If we don't curb it, it becomes endemic. We are talking about the children now. So which means our own generation will be polluted before now. The generation after us now, our children's generation, is going to also... Don't you see what you read on X all the time? Has it not become ethnicity and religion in Twitter? Is it not, and these are Gen Zs who have also copied from their father and their mother. They've copied from their parents. and because their parents, so many of them, their parents have become psycho fans. They are looking for what to eat. That's the same way that will happen to those ones that are singing on your mandate inside the Black Maria, because we are just trying to survive. That's the level that they've pushed us to. That by the time you get to this level, you will not be talking of survivor. When you are talking of survivor, you will not remember to accuse them for whatever they are doing.
This man set up a project. We're talking about the dwindling educational system. I remember during the JAM situation where there was a glitch and students started reaching out to him that there's something wrong with the systems. And a lot of them who feel they used to do well, right, were surprised at the outcome of the JAM results. I'm sure you could remember during Mr. What's his name? The former JAM registrar, Oloyede or something. Yes, exactly. Now, Oloyede. That period, they didn't believe. They were like, oh, JAM has been able to successfully delete all those magic centers where people pay to whatever. But it got bad because certain regions were affected. The southeast, the south, some parts of the south, and even here in the southwest. A young lady also committed suicide because of that. It was that reason this man raised the alarm, was reaching out to JAM and, wondering exactly what was going on. Now, for some persons, they decided to tweak the whole thing by saying some persons, JAM, without even investigating it, came to say that some special centers, that they've devised some mechanism to identify special centers. And so no more magic special centers. And that's why the results were like that, especially from some regions. Do you know the meaning of such a statement? You now realize for them to have investigated, and Mr. Oloyede came to apologize that indeed there was a glitch. This man decided to take it upon himself to say, you know what, we need to reverberate and restructure our educational system. We will start encouraging serious drilling of students in several courses: mathematics, further maths, sciences, even civic and government, current affairs. So they're setting up competitions, and he says they're not going to compete locally, they're going to compete globally. Education right now, Nigerians needs to be competing with their counterparts across the globe and not just within us. And he started off that project, and obviously it led to these students who have obviously etched their names in gold. I mean, the STEM Olympiad grand finale in Rome, Italy. Obviously it was of pride. Nigerians were actually happy with it. Chimdube Onwubiko, Don Alele Chimso, and Onyedikachi Egejurum, they emerged among the world's brightest in mathematics and science at the competition, which brought together outstanding young minds from more than 150 countries. This obviously has led to many students enrolling in that educare and in different institutions. They want to partake in this competition. In fact, there are fears that the students will be too much now, that these competitions will start cutting off. Nigerians actually etched their name in gold. Another school for this same Olympiad, I think German Olympiad for linguistics, they sent 16 students, and our students came out fantastically well. Now, it was not just this particular Olympiad. It gained attention because Alex was tweeting and updating. There was another Olympiad as well that children from the Southeast also did exceptionally well. And even from the Southwest too, 16 of those students from the Southwest in one of the private schools went, and they did well. Why wasn't these children encouraged and congratulated? Instead, there was a competition and they were throwing hate. Do you know the worst part? These children have access to social media to see all of this. So adults went on X, open spaces, making derogatory comments rather than encourage it. Where are we? Is this not beyond politics?
It's beyond politics. You see, those adults have already they've spoiled their own generation, and are now transferring it to the next generation. That's where the biggest problem is. This is the same adults that we're talking about that are now psychophans, that collect money to vote, that even encourage this corruption and rigging. They go to snatch ballot boxes. They don't even want it to end at their own generation. They are not transferring to the next generation. That's where the nation should be afraid of. If now that these other generations have collapsed, the next generation collapsed, do we have any nation any longer? Then you now begin to ask, where is the National Orientation Agency here?
Big question. I was going to come to that.
National Orientation
Do you
Agency.
know that the National Orientation Agency is now under the Ministry of Information?
Yeah.
Do you know about 9-point-something billion naira was designated to the National Orientation Agency for something like this? Why did they go moribund?
National Orientation Agency have refused to do their job. We saw Onilu Issa, the new DG,
yes,
came up with some campaign, in some media houses that day. Where is the campaign? Abruptly, it has stopped. You need to do more of this, especially when we are talking of this, election year we are into now. Nigeria need to first of all have a nation called Nigeria before the politicians can begin to think of the positions they want to occupy. If they kill this nation, you can only be a head in your home if you survive it. Those Nigerians that are in IDP camp, do they have homes any longer? Those ones that are being brought back from South Africa now, do they have homes? You can only be the head of a home when you can stay close from your respective place of work and get back and still meet your wife and your children. For those that are now scattered in IDP camp, carrying their boxes from South Africa and coming back to Nigeria, they don't have any business, they don't have anywhere to start from, they don't have a home any longer. So this is what politicians should know at all times, that first of all, let the unity of this nation be entrenched before you now begin to talk of whether you can vie for any position. If there is no Nigeria, you can't vie for any position.
Very true. So at this point, what are we doing?
We have to tell them that the nation belongs to us. Esther, I know most of the time you don't always agree with me on this. Mm-hmm. Protest and reminding politicians what we need and what belongs to us must not stop, because it is a constitutional guarantee in democracy. We must, since that's the only language the Nigeria government want to hear, at all time, let us begin to remind Nigeria government what we deserve from them. Through protest, they will come and shoot tear gas. They will definitely shoot tear gas. That must not deter us. We face bullets, and there are even more than tear gases when June 12 was announced.
My question is, if the National Orientation Agency was given a budget allocation of 98 billion naira for sensitization, for harmonization, literally for national cohesion, why are we not having that take place?
It depends on who is involved. It depends on who is involved, Esther.
Because they're meant to communicate government policies.
Yeah,
they're meant to educate the public. They're meant to promote national values, foster unity among citizens. Yes, but they're derailing in that responsibility.
They've derailed over the years. And here now we are reminding them of their responsibilities.
Sir, I remember when I was little, I see adverts during election times, how they encourage Nigerians to go get their PVCs or their voters card at the time. They come with different languages, sometimes English, Pidgin, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. You will hear it ringing across several radio stations. In fact, sometimes they do it in a dramatic way. Then we used to have radio dramas. Obviously, these are the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria introduced radio dramas, and it was very effective to educate. It was educating people. At the time, it was not every home that had access to television, so radio was a major means for entertainment, and radio dramas was one through which the drama there was quite educating. So you had these jingles, perforating our airwaves at the time. By this time, with the kind of hatred experienced in the polity, you will see jingles from the National Orientation Agency across radio stations and television stations emphatically running and talking about Nigerians to please in one mind, all right? Make sure they get their PVCs, know that their neighbors are not their enemies, and they have a right to choose whom they prefer. The collective responsibility of all Nigerians is to have a good Nigeria. To tell you how bad it is, currently as we're streaming on YouTube, I also have another dilapidated mind, a psychologically confused person, a mentally padlocked, will I call them, slave to the current quagmire we're facing, saying, oh, Madam Esther, you go explain tire or whatever, take water, your mouth is like typewriter or whatever. Look at the kind of twisted psychological mindset of certain persons that benignly do not see anything beyond a sense of myopism. The primitive and barbaric state of the mindsets of some individuals who have become psychological, emotional, and mental slaves to an idea that is not even reminiscent or reflective on their future. So would we say that we have individuals who have deliberately decided to remain slaves even to the glaring reality in their faces?
They remain slaves because they want to remain as slaves. The people who made them slaves are people that they are celebrating today, Esther. If they want to get out of it, we know what to do. You see, because of the psychophancy has transcend all the facets of the economy. Now, if you don't belong to them, you will not be able to eat. You will not be able to, pay your bill. Look at what Peter Obi is saying there, that even his business are not being affected. So when you see everybody now dance to their tune, no matter how big you are as a rich man, if the government want to clamp down on you, they start by stiffening up your business. But when they cripple your business, what else is left? Then you now be cap in hand and be begging them. So this is the reason why we must not allow violence and greed to enter this democracy.
Thank you for watching that video. So guys, before you leave, look at the down here. Do well to subscribe and also put on your notification bell so that whenever we upload any video in this great platform, you will be the first to see it. And please